Hello everyone and welcome back to Scale Sandbox. Today we are back and I want to fill in this little area we've got going on over here. Now in our last episode, if you didn't see it, we made this little farm over here. And I wanted to continue with that today, so we're going to be putting in some more fields and stuff. However, first things first, I do just want to delete a little bit that I did last episode, as I want this track to continue along and over a little stone bridge over the railway so that it can lead to more fields out this side. So hopefully there should be enough room to make a nice little stone bridge that can go over the train track. So I'm just going to rotate this block over the train track, and that's given us a really nice looking arch. So I've just highlighted this and now I'm going to pull it down into the ground, and that is pretty much exactly where I want this arch to be. So now I want to try and add in the sort of more stony side of the bridge. So first of all, let's just add in a couple of blocks like this, and then I'm going to try and find the right texture for these. To be honest, I think cobblestone is actually going to be pretty good. And you know me, I've got to have some pillars at the end to sort of finish it off. And now I'm going to run this wall over the arch to create a really nice smooth transition between the arch and the bottom of the bridge. And from this point, I'm just going to have a straight line to transition between the two. I think I might add a little wall topper, which is going to be the same color as these pillars. And there we have a nicely finished first side of the Humpback Bridge. What's really nice is I can come and highlight all of this and then copy it round to the other side of the bridge. And so all I need to do now is just put in a nice stone road. Okay, there's just one more thing that I want to do now to finish off this Humpback Bridge, and that is, underneath here needs to be filled in. So that is finally done, and I think we can call this little Humpback Bridge complete. So now we need to sort of integrate it into the surroundings. And the first thing I want to do is bring a couple of these nice large circles of pebble and sort of place them around the base. I don't know why, but things like this always seem to look good. So, I just like putting them in. And then of course I'm going to bring over a couple of grass ones as well. And so now we should be good to continue working on some fields over here. So first things first, let's start a little road layout. And to be honest, I'm not going to go too crazy with, big twists and turns and lots of tracks and paths here and there. There we go. I've just added in something that'll give the area a little bit of character. And of course, now I need to go out and smooth these corners. Now I think we should put in a couple fields. So the first one will travel parallel to the train tracks, again this side. But over at the road, it's going to head in a sort of angle like this. That one ended up being quite nice and square. And I think this one will be too, actually. So I think that's the layout. Obviously, I'm going to change the colors. And let's do that now, actually. I think we could go for another green over here. Maybe a green that looks like that might be quite nice. In fact, I want the green over here instead, because I want this field to be a more orangey brown. Yes, I think that sort of balance of color is really, really nice. Now, one thing I did want to do is actually come back and redo these hedges, because for some reason, I scaled them down when I first built them. I think that's why they look so weird, is because they're so small. So let me see if I can try again. Now, I think a hedge that looks like that might look a little bit less silly than a small hedge that looks like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and delete all of these. And now I'm going to go and replace them with, hopefully, a better looking hedge. Already, I like this more. There we go. I think that is looking a lot better. And now what I want to do is take these new hedges and put them around some of the edges of our new fields. And again, I'm going to do the same thing over here. I want some of these to be lined by hedges and some of these to be lined by fences. So now the hedges are in, it's time to get the fences done. That's the fencing done on one field. Now we need to move on to the next one. And I'm also going to add in a second fence parallel to this one, just next to the train track. And this is because I want to start up again the path that was running next to the tracks. Speaking of, I think it's finally time we hooked this up back over to the road. I know this is very off topic for what I want to do today, just bear with me. This has been on my mind for a very long time, so it feels good to finally get it done. So now it's hooked up to the pavement. In theory, people should be able to walk all the way from this station to the other station. Oh, okay, we do stop here. Well, you know what? I'm going to be redoing this area anyway, so we'll come back to this. I am getting very, very distracted. Let's continue with over here. So now the fences are in, we can move on to some other things. And just like over here where we added some hills, we need to add something that will close off the skyline. And I think a row of houses might be quite nice, especially when I've got these beautiful blueprints that I can just copy. So say we have the gardens of these houses backing onto this path. From the track, this might look quite nice. Let's just quickly extend the land though. And now we can get placing with these houses. I'll also add on the odd detached house here and there, and later on I'll vary the colour of the houses as well. So I think the idea would be that this road continues on round this way. So maybe I could add that little section in once I've done with this. And at the other end, I want the road to curve around and away from the fields. And from the track, I think that looks really, really nice. So I think we should add in that little section of road, starting with sort of curving it round this way. And we're all just going to have to ignore how these roads link houses that are two completely different scales to each other, neither of which are at the right scale to the track. Let's add in a pavement, even though it won't be seen by anyone at all. Yeah, I realized to actually do this properly, I've got to leave gaps between each one of these driveways, so that will just have to do. I am going to connect this nice farm track onto the road, and now I'm just going to add some of the white stripes. And to be honest, beyond that point, it's not really going to be seen by the railway, so I'm happy to leave the white stripes like that. And you know what? That is looking really, really nice. Now, I think there are a couple more things before I finish for today, and that is really just the usual, adding some of these green circles. I've no idea why, but these really do make the landscape come alive. And I almost forgot, but I definitely want to continue on this path. I'm just going to grab it from over here, and let's take it off at this point. And what's nice is this is completely straight, so I can just pull this out, and we can just continue it on in one piece. And of course, the one last thing we need to do is add in a bunch of foliage. So that is some trees and some rocks and some bushes and all that kind of stuff. And there we go. That is this area. I have to say, this looks so nice now. I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. So yes, this is all I have time for today. I know we haven't done much in terms of sort of new content. However, in the next episode, I've got some really, really cool things planned. So make sure you don't miss out on that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you again next week. Goodbye.